Hey, Derek.
Hey, Peter.
How you doing?
Doing pretty well. It's the holidays now, which is nice in that, there's some relaxation time around the corner, but also feels like a stressful time because I'm busy shopping for gifts and figuring out, who I'm shopping for and what to get. And I feel like it's always slightly stressful to figure out what to get somebody.
Do you have a long list of friends to shop for?
I don't. I don't. Although sometimes people will say like, oh, I'm getting you a gift. And I'm like, okay, now you're going on this and I'm getting you a gift.
Right. Oh, yeah. Here we go. We're going to do the gift giving dance.
Yes. Okay. I wrote something actually for Mr. Porter recently about how to give a gift. And so I put a lot of thought into this recently.
Ah, okay.
And I feel that as the holidays are here, many people are going to see gift guides. Essentially, holiday gift guides have become like catalogs where I often feel like
it's ad revenue.
Yeah, it's ad revenue, right? And they're not often even
I hate sounding cynical.
They're often not even trying to help you find a gift.
Right.
It's just a list of products.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking of what does it mean to get someone a gift? And I feel that oftentimes it's less about shopping through these online catalogs or lists that are just money generators for these publications, which is fine.
Works for me.
Yeah, but also it's not. I think it's not about imposing your taste on people as superior as you may think it is.
Right.
Mr. Porter reached out to me and they said, "Can you write something on how to give a gift?" And naturally, it's going to be about like, oh, here's some stuff from Mr. Porter. But I mean, that's the nature of the beast. But I also didn't want it to be just that. I wanted to write something genuinely helpful, and I was thinking about it for a while. And I think the heart of good gift giving is about putting the other person first and thinking about what kind of personality they have, what are their hobbies and interests, what they might react to.
Yeah.
And then also lowering the bar for yourself, at least for me, because I often think like, oh, I want to get the best gift possible.
Yeah.
I want them to like cherish this when they're like 80, they hold this thing in their hand and they're thinking like, oh,
I remember when
Derek gave me this amazing gift that I've cherished my entire life and I'm going to give it to my kids. I think sometimes gift giving is just a way to show someone that you recognize and you care about them and that you may recognize and appreciate their inner world.
Yeah.
And in that sense, sometimes there are different relationships in gift giving. Like I think if you're buying something for coworkers, it's not that serious. Like you can get like a butter dish, you can get
candy bar.
I don't know about candy bar. I'll get at least a box of candy.
Here's a Snickers for you, buddy. Yeah. When you got hunger pains, Snickers always satisfy.
I'll get a box of candy. In any case, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
You just get like a box of candies, whatever it is you want to give. As that person becomes closer to you, I find myself stressing out over like, I want to get them something really beautiful and meaningful. And in some ways, the closer the person is to you, sometimes I also think it's okay to just ask them, like, what would you like? I want to get you something really nice.
Absolutely.
What would you like? And I think by asking them, sometimes you also put that person first. And that was kind of the gist of this whole thing that I wrote for Mr. Porter was ways to put the other person first, essentially.
Well, thus the name of the article, how to shop for a gift, not what to buy as a gift.
Yes. So in this article, I laid out, well, I didn't exactly lay out all of these archetypes, but I started the article thinking about all these archetypes of people that you might be shopping for. But in the article, I do mention that like, if you, listen, it's an article from Mr. Porter. I have to mention Mr. Porter's stuff, right? Like it's just reality.
Of course.
So, like in it, I talk about like, if you are buying something for the social butterfly who's always hosting something at, their home, then you might get some fancy barware.
Yeah.
Or like an ice bucket.
Cheese knives.
Like something that can elevate their gatherings and make it feel more ceremonial. And that makes them feel special and gives them something that they can actually use in the coming years. Conversely, if you have a friend who's very introverted and stays at home, like me, then maybe you get them, like an ice bucket's not going to be very useful. They might like,
a popcorn maker.
A popcorn maker, exactly, right? I recommended some throws on Mr. Porter,
Perfect.
Something that gives them, some cozy comforts at home. So when we were talking about doing this pod on how to give a gift, I thought of different archetypes.
Okay, what are they?
The archetypes are practical gifts, sentimental gifts, experiential gifts, cozy comfort gifts, and minimalist no stuff gifts. And finally, buying stuff for the person who has everything. And I think this is important because, for example, the gifts that have meant the most to me are sentimental gifts. One of the best gifts that I've received from people is just like a handwritten letter.
Yeah.
You know, to some other guys, that is like, I mentioned that once on Twitter and a bunch of people groaned. Like, they're like, I would flip out if someone gave me that.
Well, it's because of who you connected with.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten emails from like readers, you know, we're not like best friends, but I genuinely really like, you know, people have sent me photos of like their wedding and said, you know, I got this suit because of you and you really helped make this day. And the first time I got an email like that, I was like, oh my God, what if I open this photo and they look like crap? Then I'm going to feel bad.
Right.
But they looked amazing. And I've received so many emails from people, and I swear I'm not just making this up. Everyone has looked amazing.
Nice.
And that generally makes me feel really good. But I can understand there are some people who, you know, like that, they might value something else. So I think, for example, like a practical person, giving them something practical that they can actually use is showing that you care about them.
Yeah, because if they get a letter, they're like, great, what am I going to do with this? Maybe I can use it as kindling. Start a fire.
So what would you get for someone like a practical-minded person?
I would find out what their hobbies are. So a practical person usually has a hobby. It could be writing, it could be camping, it could be photography. So I would find out what their hobbies are and then buy something relatively niche along those lines. For example, my hobby is photography. So if someone gave me a really cool camera strap, either one that you sling on over your shoulder or one that you use in your hand, those are great. There's so many that are super cool. There's a San Francisco company, Disrupt, that makes some really cool ones. Leica makes some really cool ones. Peak Design makes some really useful ones. Those are really practical, but you can also make it personalized in a fabric that they like or a design that they like, because there's leather ones for guys that are old school. There's one that are made of ballistic woven nylon that are practically impenetrable and unrippable for those that are very practical. So finding out what their hobbies are and then buying a unique but relatively small gift with them in mind.
That sounds daunting to me because the hobbyist is going to have very strong views. Like, I would be worried about giving like a photographer friend a camera strap because I would think they have such like, if I gave a random, like a person who's not necessarily a hobbyist, but they just use a camera strap, they probably don't have very strong views. But like, for example, like a menswear guy, can you imagine giving a menswear guy a piece of clothing? Like, it is
right
going, well, I mean, yeah.
Well, you could ask them. So depending on the person, you can say, how do you like your camera strap? You don't have to say, can I buy you a camera strap? You can say, how do you like your camera strap? Oh, I don't have one. I don't have one. Oh, okay. Boom. There's your gift. Or it just broke. Or who do you think makes the best camera strap? Oh man, that's I've got a long list.
You have to proxy this from Japan, and you have to.
The best is by this old man who lives in the garage.
He only takes 5 orders a year, and you have to apprentice there.
And he makes it with special bamboo that you can only find at the foothills of Mount Everest.
Wait carefully into that. I feel like that there is some, like, there's just some danger because some of the, like, if a fountain pen hobbyist, you can get them a fountain pen, but you know, if you ask them who makes the best, one, you have to sit there for an hour and listen to them just.
Right. Well, what kind of, are we talking fountain pen? Are we talking ballpoint rollers? What are we talking about?
Exactly. I think it's a good idea to just ask them, like, who do you think makes the best one? And if you have a good return policy, then, you know, it's a little bit risk-free.
What about luggage for the traveler? So you can get them packing cubes. Packing cubes are great.
Packing cubes are useful.
You can find out if they like camping. Then do you have a camping seat? Do you have a camping stove? You probably need fuel for your camping stove. Who makes the best fuel? What kind do you like? Do you have any utensils that you carry? All these things. A camper will have a long list of things that they would like and stuff that they currently have that they would like to upgrade. That's very practical. Pens. I got you a couple pens.
Yeah.
You probably hate them.
No, I'll be mentioning them in one of our Hey Nice Pants.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking of things that I find personally useful. Unless you live like I lived for a brief period in New York City, and I very rarely cooked because the home was so small. So unless for most people cook at some point.
Yeah.
And so I feel like kitchen stuff is often useful if you can afford one. Like a Le Creuset Dutch oven. Is really
Dutch
useful.
oven.
Someone gave me that years and years and years ago as a Christmas present, and I still cherish it and I still use it.
Nice.
Dansk makes butter warmers that I find really useful for
yeah.
warming butter or heating up a cup of soup. I also thought about, like, for example, things that I actually find genuinely really useful in my life. This is, if I was buying something for a very practical minded guy who shops a lot online, which probably constitutes many people who listen to this pod and their friends, I would get them Spyderco's Paramilitary 2 in Maximate steel, which is this specialty knife. I think you can find it. I mean, this gets into the, like, how much do you want to spend on this person?
Yeah.
But
Hope is a good friend.
I think it's like $200, $250, which is pretty pricey. But the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in Maximate specifically is so good at breaking down boxes.
Really? Does it keep an edge well?
So the Spyderco in general comes in a range of steels, and you'll want to, you'll want to go and research. The thing with steels is that they often excel in one dimension and fail at another. So if you have a steel that holds an edge really, really well, then it might be a little bit more brittle, which means if you're slicing through cardboard and you twist it
a little bit
when you hit, like, let's say a big staple, it's probably not good.
Oh.
But if you have a very soft steel, then, it'll be less brittle, but you have to sharpen it more often. Maximate is the one that holds the edge retention best. And, just tell the person, don't try to cut through a big staple. Don't cut through bone. Use it to cut through cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
And then when you have to resharpen it, give it to a professional.
There's a hardware store just down the street that sharpens knives for $10.
Yeah, I found that Spyderco to be so useful for breaking down boxes. I think it would make for a nice gift.
Nice.
Also, for the traveler or someone like me who works in cafes often, I've gotten a lot of use out of OmniCharge's portable batteries.
Portable batteries, really?
They're basically, you can use them to either recharge your phone, obviously, but I use it to just charge my laptop.
Oh, like this guy right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. So a power bank.
A power bank.
Gotcha.
I think that'd be nice for a camper, a traveler.
Yes, 100%. You can get them for so cheap now.
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah, $50. When you buy one, double check if it's the kind of battery. Like, for me, when I bought mine, I learned that there are two types of batteries. There are the batteries that can recharge your laptop, and then there's the battery that you can plug into your laptop and then just keep on working.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to wait for it to recharge. It's now sucking in power from that power bank.
Yes.
So the Omni Charge that we'll link in the show notes, the one that I bought, allows you to just stick the power bank into your laptop and you continue working.
Yeah.
I find that to be really useful when I'm working at cafes. Also, I imagine a lot of our listeners are probably, around our age and have aging parents. I've gotten my mom massage tools, like those Theraguns that are massage tools.
Speaking of massage guns, I got this one. It is an oscillating massage. So unlike a massage gun, which I have as well, that one just goes in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And that's great. It works. This one oscillates. So it goes in a circle.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which you can. So it's very gentle if you want it to be. It has a really nice feel to it. And if you want to go deeper, you can just turn it on its side.
Okay.
And it goes up and down. Here, check it out.
What's the name of the brand?
It's Rally, and it's their oscillating massager. And it's really, really good.
Yeah.
It is at the same time one of the softest and yet one of the most painful. Because you can really crank up the speed on this, and if you put it on its side, it can really dig into your muscle.
What do you use that for your knees, or
mostly my lower half? But
okay.
I know that it works really well on your neck and shoulders as well.
Okay.
Neck in particular, because you can really dig in there. It's a great little tool.
Yeah.
This one is going to set you back about $300.
That's pricey.
It is pricey, but it is one of the only oscillating massagers out there.
The cheapest good massage tool I've come across is something called, and it sounds ridiculous, I didn't name it, but it's called bongers. and it's $20.
Dr. Bonners? No, I'm
No,
sure.
no. Bongers. We'll have a link in the show notes.
Oh, okay.
But it is $20 for two of them.
Wow.
And it's really good for just targeted. Like sometimes I just have a knot in my neck.
Yeah.
And I use the bonger thing. $20, probably the best $20 I've ever
Wow.
spent.
Nice.
So I think if you have like someone in your life that you know is just like a practical minded person, getting them something that solves a problem.
Yeah.
A massage gun, something that helps them break down cardboard, something that they use for their hobby.
A tea warmer.
Something like that. Like it may not be something that a sentimental person wants, but it's something that a practical person will appreciate.
Speaking of sentimental gifts for sentimental people, what have you got in mind for shopping for those people?
I still think, and it's, I recognize it's cliche, but I genuinely think a handwritten letter is really nice. If you have really sloppy handwriting, I think that's totally fine. But if you are uncomfortable with your handwriting, then I think even an email is good.
No, go out and buy a typewriter.
I've received things like that. Like people, they have a typewriter at home. I mean, this is kind of like a hipster kind of thing.
Right.
I still think it's cool.
I think it's cool too.
You go get some, nice stationery paper.
Yeah.
You type something out. I think it's charming.
Same.
If you want, you can attach a photo, but you don't have to. I also think there's some other obvious things, like if you have some kind of like some ephemera or something that is significant to both of you, you can get that framed. Scrapbooks, art, framed photos that, of you and your friend.
I agree.
I think they sound cliche, but I think for someone in person, those are really genuinely cherished gifts.
And again, I'm going to sound like an old fogey, but I am turning 50 in a couple days. In the era where nothing is tangible, everything is digital, to get, even if it's a digitally printed photo, is so nice.
Yeah. You don't even have to get anything fancy, but if you want to get something fancy, then you can go to eBay, both ebay.com and ebay.co.uk, and look up Asprey, Asprey frame. And you'll buy the kind of frames that like super wealthy British elites would have bought for like their mansions or whatever.
How much are you talking about?
I think you can get them for like, I don't know, like $50 or $75.
That's not bad.
It's not bad for like,
a frame.
For the kind of frame that like, I don't know, King Charles would have in his home. And you put a photo of you and your friend in that kind of frame. It's something that they'll cherish. I also think you can give a really normal gift and connect it to a memory, and then it becomes sentimental. And I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
A candle is a really kind of like standard holiday gift.
True.
But if you get a candle and you write a very nice short card and say, this reminds me of our camping trip in July.
Nice.
This reminds me of, the one time we went to, this mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
This scent reminds me of our shared experience. Then it becomes a sentimental gift.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can always buy something that is a very standard gift. If you guys took a trip to France, like you buy a box of chocolates from that town.
Yeah, some croissants.
Something from that town, and then all of a sudden it's a sentimental gift. Searching for things like that, I think, can make something really ordinary into something sentimental by attaching a story.
I was doing some research and there's a couple companies that do this, that will make books or recordings, video even, of people so that you can have it in the future. And here's what I mean. There's two companies. One is called Storyworth and the other is called Memento. And it's about $100 for either one. And each week it will send them a question. What was it like on your first date with dad? Or what do you remember about me the day after I was born? Or what was your first job like? Anything. And the person will respond. And then after a year, it will package all of that up and send it to you as a gift.
Oh.
And the only thing is that with Storyworth, it's incumbent upon them to work. So if your mom or dad is not a writer, they're going to be like, thanks for the gift, idiot. I don't like writing. Memento, they have the option to record an audio message or to find a photo and to record a video. So you can either get a book in hand or you can get a book in hand that also has the transcribed audio.
So this is like a bound book?
It's a bound book.
Oh,
Yes. So at the end of the year, you get this beautiful bound book of memories of your grandparents.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Want to hear the rest? Listen to the full episode and many more other exclusive episodes over on our Patreon. Visit patreon.com/Blamo to sign up and join the Blam fam. You also get access to our exclusive members-only Slack group where we chat about this and a ton of other things. So head over to patreon.com/Blamo and we'll see you there.